Hi guys, welcome to Com 110 Unit 8, Week 2. All right, so we are going to finish up our professional communication project this week, and I'm going to walk you through part 3. So in week 1, we did parts 1 and 2, so you found a job description and you did some research on it. And for part 3, we are going to deal with the interview portion of applying and interviewing for a job. So I'm going to go back to your professional communication project assignment description, and we're going to go roll down to part 3. Okay. So for this particular assignment, you are going to prepare and record a mock interview. So you are going to answer these 3 questions, and I'll give you some detail about those in just a minute. And you're going to record yourself doing this. So we are going to be doing a couple of things that will be a little bit difficult. First, we're going to work on recording ourselves. We will also be recording ourselves later in the semester for our speech. So this will be a good practice. And then we'll kind of talk through answering these questions as well. Okay. So before I get to the questions, let's talk about the actual recording process. So a couple of things. You're going to be graded on both your responses, but also, this is a communications class, I'm going to be grading you on your interview skills. So for me, that is going to mean your verbal responses and your nonverbal responses. So I will be grading you on your eye contact, hand gestures, posture, and your interview attire, in addition to your actual responses. So for this, we're going to utilize our technology here, and many interviews happen on things like Zoom or virtual interviews. So what I'm really going to ask you is to record kind of from the waist up. So as long as I can see, your shoulders, your hands, your face, all of that, that's fine. You can definitely be seated while you record this interview. So in terms of professional dress, that only needs to be from the waist up, obviously. So when we're thinking about interview attire, just business casual. So a collared shirt, a blouse, that type of thing, a step up from your normal. So if you recall, and I'm going to try to show you some of this, but it's hard because I'm currently using the recorder for my own screen. But I'm going to roll back really quickly to, let's go back to last week's. So I use both the screen and the video recorder. You are just going to use the video recorder. I'm going to mute this for a second. But essentially, I just wanted to show you this in terms of this is sort of what I'm looking for how much of your body I can see. So just like I have there is what I'm looking for. However, I'm using, again, both the screen and the video recorder. You're just going to use a video recorder. So let's talk about how to record this. And then again, I'll go back to looking at your responses. So I'm going to suggest you use ScreenPal, which is what I use for all of the videos in here. It's a free resource. So I'll have you click there and I will open up ScreenPal over here. Let's see if it'll be nice and do it for me. Okay. So if you click here, mine's probably going to go straight to my own account, but you're going to look here and this is what it will look like. You're just going to sign up again, just do a free account. That's all you're going to need here. Okay. So I'm going to flip over to my content just to show you what this will look like. Okay. So when you are ready to record, you can see I have lots of videos there. You're going to go over here and launch the recorder. I don't think it'll probably let me do it, but let's see if it'll let that screen come up. No, it's probably going to yell at me. So when you launch this recorder, you will have the option of choosing to record the screen, to record yourself, or to record yourself in the screen. And you just want to record yourself. So then it's going to go through, it's going to record. And at the end, you'll be able to see that video. What you will want to do at that time is to save it to Screencast-O-Matic or ScreenPal is my suggestion. You can make it unlisted, which means that only the person who has the URL that it will give you can see it. So that's what I would do. I would upload it to ScreenPal, make it unlisted, and then just title it with your interview. And that's the link that you will submit into Moodle. This is not an assignment that I would do multiple times, okay? We're not looking for perfection here. You don't need to re-record it if you have an or an ah. Just one time through is fine. So your interview should be a couple of minutes. I really do not recommend doing them on your phones because iPhone videos are very large and they are very difficult to get off your phones. You will not be able to upload it to Moodle because they're too large. So definitely suggest using ScreenPal. And again, the only thing I think that's a little bit tricky about ScreenPal is when you get to the end and you need to save it. So I wouldn't save it as a file. I would upload it to ScreenPal, make it unlisted, and then it'll give you a URL. That's the best chance, I would say. The other thing I would suggest is to do a run through, do a test one first, just to make sure your audio and your video is working. Sometimes I have students who submit and I can see them perfectly fine, but I can't hear them because something's wrong with their mic. So just double check that you can both hear and see yourself, and that way you don't have to redo it. All right, so let's talk about the content of the interview. So a couple of things here. I am looking for your answers to be kind of off the cuff. You can certainly take some notes, but sometimes what I see students do is they will sort of have their written responses up on a separate screen. Please don't do that. It's very easy to tell when someone is reading off a screen, and that will not be great for you in a professional interview because, again, interviewers are very quick to notice that. And so it doesn't put your best foot forward. I am grading you on your eye contact, nonverbals, and that is engaging with your camera. So just like you would if there were another person, on that call. I'm going to give a quick aside. The other thing you could also do is if you want to record in Google Meet. Some of you might be better with that, but honestly, I think ScreenPal's best. Okay, so let's talk through these three questions. The first one, why are you interested in this position and company? So this is a great chance for you to highlight, and before I get into this, let me just say, you can just ask yourself these questions. You don't need to have another person on the call. You can just say, why are you interested in this position company? And then answer the question as if someone was asking it to you. So here's a great chance to highlight your research, okay? If you could ask this question, things I'm looking to hear. One, that you're able to pull some information about the company. What initiatives are they doing that you found in part 2 of your project that you're super interested in? How does this company align with your goals, your values? So you go back to that mission statement. If you can throw the mission statement in here, this is great. So really make sure that your response to this question highlights the research that you did in part 2, okay? So find specific things that interest you and make sure to align it with the mission statement, the goals, etc. Number 2, what are your greatest strengths? I would personally pick one greatest strength here and then provide very detailed examples that illustrate that strength in action. So for example, if you're going to tell me that you're great with time management, I want to hear a story or two from your work or your personal experience that illustrate a time when you use good time management. Nothing is worse for someone who is conducting an interview than when they ask this question and the interviewee rattles off like, oh, I'm great at this, this, and this, but they don't give any detail to support it. So again, I would just pick one great strength here and provide detailed examples to support it. And number 3, your greatest professional or academic accomplishment and why this was important to you. Again, detail here. What was it? What did you learn about this? How did what you learn, how will it help you in this particular position? So always try to tie your answers back to this position, this company, okay? So again, these should, you shouldn't have a 10-minute interview based on 3 questions, but it should be a couple of minutes. So make sure you are really taking time to think about the questions prior to recording this and that your responses really reflect your research of the company, the organization, and your ability to apply what you know and you've learned to this position. So again, here are some details about how I grade the interview portion. So make sure to look through that. Okay, so just to kind of recap, I would use ScreenPal. I would run through a test first to make sure that your audio and your visual are good to go. Then you can just go through, you're submitting a link here. So you can just copy and paste it in the submission link and make sure you thoroughly answer your questions. If you have questions, concerns, let me know. Other than that, good luck.